Another week, another episode. That's 3 weeks in a row. I think we deserve a pat on the back for that one.
Hey, let's go.
We're close to a month, baby. We're close to a month. There's a lot to talk about. Rangers keep their hot streak going. We'll dive into that. They signed a former two-time All-Star. So we'll dive into that as well. Premier League opened up finally. About time. I miss football, bro. The other football will start soon, but the real football just started. We'll both talk about our teams, West Ham and Spurs, how they did over the weekend. Tap into some big games that happened. We'll talk about Neymar and how he just wasted his career, clearly at 31. We got some James Harden stuff, and obviously we'll deep dive into Dallas Cowboys. They had their first preseason game. Was not excited to watch that. I'm not even sure if you watched it. I just had it in the background, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I kind of just kept up with the stats. Truthfully, it
and
wasn't
that's
worth
fine,
watching.
bro. That's fine. Right now, you just gotta look at the stats.
It's preseason,
and then the Mavs got their. We got some sneak peeks to their opening game, Christmas game, and the in-game season tournament schedule came out. So we'll definitely tap on that. So we'll start off with Premier League, Bournemouth and West Ham. I'll take the point. Before the game started, I'm not gonna lie, I thought we were gonna lose. I was like, it's an away game. Bournemouth, they're like a relegation team, but I still feel like, our new signings are still coming in. Edson had just got there, so I knew he wasn't gonna play. We just signed James Ward-Prowse, but we looked awful. And I'm not sure if you watched the game. We looked bad.
No,
we're getting outpossessed, bro. Outpossessed.
That's crazy.
Like. It was bad. We had better attacking chances than they did. We were just working on the counter. Paqueta was playing more holding mid. I really didn't like that, but at this point they had to. I don't think they're comfortable with Flynn Downs playing back there yet.
Because Well, I'm assuming then when kind of Edson and Ward-Prowse kind of get integrated, what are they going to do? Just push Paqueta up to the 10 almost?
Yeah, for sure.
Or are they going to play him like it?
I think what they're going to do is Fornals was playing the 10. Him and Benrahma were switching around from wing to middle. Okay. So Fornals is probably going to get the boot, sadly. He's a fan favorite. I think he's just a likable guy when he's on the pitch. He does some silky moves every here now and then. Benrahma's a really if you look at West Ham fans, it's right in the middle. You either think Benrahma's a baller, or you think he's an absolute waste of space on the field.
Okay.
Which I think he can be both. He can be both.
Yeah, he can be both, right?
Yeah, he's just really inconsistent, but when he's on, he's nasty.
Yeah,
we saw a lot of that.
Everything that I've always heard about him is that he's a dog, but also I don't watch him week in and week out. I'll catch highlights and stuff like that when he does something. So I can imagine. I know Spurs have players like that it's just if you don't watch him, you're either this man's shit, or he's a stud. But
think about it. If you watch him that one, every maybe 6 games, the first half of the season when they play the big teams, and you're like, oh, they did this that game or whatever. But I watch him week in and out, and you see that, but. Obviously, I knew it wasn't – Paqueta gets stuck in every now and then in the back. But obviously, I'd like him more comfortable at the 10, being able to distribute the ball. So I think that's why we struggled a little bit. If I'm being honest, they probably were playing for the point. That's what it looked like. But they scored.
You guys were on the road back. Too, right?
Yeah, we were on the road. But we got home against Chelsea next week. I'm pretty sure.
I think
we have a terrible schedule.
The run of fixtures. Yeah, I saw the run of fixtures were crazy.
We have a terrible schedule, bro. This is the only point we're gonna get. By the way, I'm telling you right now, only point so far. Let me read you the schedule. So we got Chelsea at home. We go to Brighton, which I'm very scared of.
You're cooked. You're cooked.
We got Luton at their stadium, their first home game. I think it's their very first home game.
Yeah, it's tough.
Okay. After that, we got City. No biggie. We got City.
Hey, no KDB, though. No De Bruyne. So,
Yeah, we're going to be playing against Paqueta. Watch. Now they need a midfielder.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
That is at home, so Paqueta will get his homecoming soon. Yeah, and then the week after that is Liverpool. So, I'm excited, bro. Yeah. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm so sorry for you. You might
Why are we happy?
Maybe you sneak.
I'm smiling,
maybe you sneak a point at Luton. I don't know.
If I'm being honest,
it's not looking
I'm
good.
Confident this weekend, maybe. We somehow always do pretty good against Chelsea. And
I think Chelsea's still trying to figure out they're still trying to figure out their system, right? And I think that it's still so new under Pochettino, and like I said, bro, they're spent I want to say almost $1 billion since summer of last year.
And you see the lineup they rolled out last weekend, bro?
Yeah, it's just it doesn't make any sense. And they don't have the time. And I think Pochettino's a really good coach and a good manager, but like still, like you have so many new people, and like I mean, we can touch on it with Spurs here in a second, but like it's even though like you have all of the preseason and all that stuff to kind of get your system across, it still takes time to have that stuff get second nature to you, I think. And so like especially when you're just constantly bringing in new people, and you have like I mean a bunch of I feel like Chelsea's bringing in a ton of young guys too. So like they're not a lot of people aren't Premier League proven. So like I think I don't know. You never know. I mean,
and it seems like they're getting new guys.
Yeah,
I hope so. I've been Sack Moyes for a long time, but he had Europe success last year, so it was kind of impossible.
Yeah,
but I feel like he's on the hot seat. Really, if we start off really slow, I think it's gonna get the boot soon. But like I said, Chelsea with chemistry and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think the odds are that after that Liverpool game, he's still around? If you guys say you guys don't get any points, is it?
But the thing is, I gotta give him the
that's gotta be too early in the season, right?
It's way too early, and like I mean, what do you expect from that? To be honest, like fair.
That's fair.
You're not gonna be the favorite. Maybe Luton. I mean, I think the like Vegas will probably have us as underdogs still against Luton Town. If I'm being honest.
Yeah, I think at home, especially at home.
Yeah, like, home, the very first home game.
I guess you guys are on the that's tough.
So I'm not expecting much.
But yeah,
so
yeah, man. But kind of transition over to my side. Spurs had a 2-2 draw at Brentford. Goal, and I think it was like the 11th minute by Christian Romero off a header. And then Emerson kind of had a outside of the box goal right before halftime, I think, and like stoppage time or injury time in the first half. And then there was a soft penalty on Son that, I mean, I guess, right, you look at the letter of the law, I think it's probably as a pen, but still it was, in my opinion, pretty soft. And then just, I don't remember who lost their man on the second goal, but it was like a deflection off of Mickey Van de Ven that,
it was a good play though. It was a good setup though. They're striving on the wings, bro.
Yeah. So and that's kind of the downfall of Postecoglou's system is that like I think they play with like inverted wing backs, and so the like wings behind them are just super super vulnerable. And so if you can play a long ball that gets back in there, and you have somebody that's like that can do something with it, that's going to be a problem. So it's just like kind of hitting on the point of, you know, new manager trying to figure out the system. I think that the more that Postecoglou kind of gets his guys in there and everybody gets more and more comfortable with the system, I think it's gonna continue to be successful. And I mean, you kind of saw it with Spurs that I think that was the most possession that they've ever had in a Premier League game, with like over 70% of possession in the entire game. Wow. And I want to say they had close to like 700 passes or something insane.
My gosh, bro, you're looking like Barca or what?
Yeah, bro. So it's funny you say that because we had that friendly against Barca last week, I think, and they ended up losing. I think it was like 4-2, but like there were times in that stretches of the game where they were like out Barcaing Barca, like just like
that's crazy.
Tiki-taka all the way up, right? Like Tiki-taka all the way up the field, like, and just like guys like Davinson Sanchez that like 3 months ago was getting booed off the pitch in his own stadium. And like people like want him to sell it. And I think we had accepted like a bid for like some team in Russia to buy him. And then like 3 months later, like under Postecoglou, he's like playing it out of the back, like I think like nutmegging a guy. Like it just doesn't make any sense. And so like I think the problem here is, right, like since the last time we spoke, like Kane has ultimately been sold. And so I mean
you're pretty confident in him staying too.
Yeah. You know, it's like I feel like every time, like at least the last two podcasts, I've jinxed something super big.
You had some
like
terrible. I'm like,
yes, bro, it's crazy. Like the first one,
the first one was like
next. Brazil.
It better not be some like Ranger Cowboy stuff, bro, because I'm gonna be very disappointed.
Like I think it was like Brazil getting grouped, and I said that they were gonna win the World Cup, and then I said, "Oh, Kane's staying. He's not leaving." And the next day, it's like, "Oh, here we go. Like he's gone." So
you also said
I don't
that.
know, man. I think
Newcastle was gonna be bad, and Tonali's gonna be a flop.
Yeah. It's still early. Hey,
tuned in.
It's too early.
It is too early, but you tuned in. They tuned in, bro.
But that's crazy. I don't even want to. Yeah, I'm sick. And so I don't know, man. I think if Richarlison doesn't kind of figure it out, and you know we don't have a striker, I think it's gonna.
I was about to say, what's his striker situation? Like, if it's not Richarlison, who is it?
Son. Maybe we just signed like a 19-year-old kid from Argentina. But like he's not good. He's not anywhere near ready. Like it'll probably kind of take like a year, just like it took for Alvarez from City. Like it'll take him a while to kind of get acclimated and stuff like that, and kind of figure out how to play. And then like after that, like couldn't tell you, brother. Dane Scarlett, 19-year-old kid that was playing like League One minutes on loan last year. I mean, I don't. Yeah,
I wouldn't be too confident with Richarlison up there, bro.
No, yeah. So I want to say he had the lowest touches from anybody on the team the entire game, and we had possession 70%.
I was saying you said y'all were possessing a lot, so like it wasn't like y'all were getting like beat and like.
And it was like it's just like he just I think he had like 2 half chances and just couldn't do anything with it. So I don't know. I really couldn't tell you. It's not looking good from the striker situation. We got to figure out where to get goals. And if it's not Son and it's not Madison, apparently we're just going to have to rely on set pieces at this point. We're going to turn to West Ham.
Because I think I'm a big fan of Son, and obviously he was tied for the Golden Boot 2 years ago with Salah.
Yeah.
So I think he's got in him, but I think it's just – well, he's the captain for y'all now, right?
Yeah, he's the new captain.
And I don't know if that's just maybe too much for him, and just like he has to like take. He's basically carrying the team. Him and Madison. I love the addition of Madison.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's been a baller. I love
Madison
him,
had 2. He had the assists on both the goals too. So like, I think that's just going to be like it's great, and I think our midfield is in great hands with Madison and then Basuma. I don't know if you watched any bit of the game, but like Basuma was balling, bro. Like
I think the only thing it might have been him. The only thing I didn't like about him, every time he got beat, he fouled like 6-7 times. And did he get carded?
Yeah, I think he did get a card.
Okay, thank God, bro. I saw him way too many times of just getting beat, and like he just drags people down. I'm just like, oh my gosh, that's the only thing that pissed me off about him. But he was balling though.
No, it's valid, but like I think that like he's gonna be like Madison and Basuma are like the keys to us being successful this year. Because I want to say that, like, let's just say Tottenham had 700 passes, like 110 of those were from Basuma.
Wow.
Like that's how like dominant he is like on the ball. So I think we had Rodrigo Bentancur tore his ACL midway through last year. So like, but before he tore his ACL, he was a stud, just like up there and especially in the Premier League, but up there in Europe with like just the form that he was in. So like if we can get that midfield 3 of Bentancur, Madison, and Basuma, like I know I'm a homer, but like I'll put that midfield 3 up against anybody. So I don't know, man. I think that we got to kind of figure something out when it comes to getting goals, especially from a striker. I know we're linked with Gift Orban from Genk, maybe somewhere in Belgium, and he's like supposed to be the guy, but who knows at this point. So
I think y'all are for sure in the market for one. I think y'all have to.
Yeah, have to be.
And like the thing is, like you can't say he doesn't have Premier League experience. He's played with Everton a couple seasons, and then he played a whole season with y'all last year, right? Or was he half season?
Yeah, no, he was whole season, but like he was getting a lot of minutes off the bench because you're playing behind Kane. So like, it's not like it's not like he's not Premier League proven. It's just he just and it doesn't make any sense because he scored more World Cup goals with Brazil than he did all year in the Premier League. It doesn't. It doesn't make
system sense. I don't know, just like how Kane they play around Kane. Like he's a totally different striker than Kane, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So like, I don't know, man. We'll see. Well,
we'll see, bro. Next week, who do I got next week? Oh, United,
United at home, playing against 12 men. If you want to talk about,
we can go to transition to that. Let's go to that game, Man U and Wolves.
Yeah. So if nobody saw Man U Wolves, Manchester United ended up winning 1-0 over Wolves. Wolves on Monday, so yesterday as we're recording, but there was at the end of the game, I think it was like the 95th minute, there was a wild no penalty call, and it just like you see like a soft penalty that you do against like on Spurs, and then you see like there was a couple other ones throughout the weekend that like really like were called penalties, but like you can argue they were kind of soft, but like Onana just like barreling into people, like just
that's
makes
insane
no sense
to me. Like if he would have made a play on the ball, understandable, but he was not even close to the ball.
Not even.
And we
close.
saw in the World Cup
so,
when Messi got that pen. I forgot. I mean, it's Messi. But But it's like almost the same play, and like it should be called, but I think it's just that's just terrible to me. I think, especially for a team like Wolves.
Yeah, and like I don't know, I was super down on Wolves. Obviously, like I think I had them finishing like rock bottom, but like there were times like throughout the game that they were like outplaying like United and like just cooking them. So like to have something like that and to like just I feel like it's got to be hard. Like if you're a Wolves fan, you got to feel hard done by because I mean just like it's not like you weren't in it. I mean it was 1-0 and you set yourself up for a chance to score and have an opportunity and just to really like have that taken away from you is just ridiculous. And then I want to say Gary O'Neill, who's the new Wolves manager, he like in the mix zone after the game, he had said that somebody from like the referees union like basically came up to him and said like, hey, like that was a mistake, like it should have been a penalty call.
Oh,
so like to hear
that's the worst thing to hear, bro. Like I'd rather you not tell me.
Nah, yeah, don't say it. Or like it just doesn't make any sense. Like at that point, like what's the point of VAR? Because it's not doing anything. Like you have instant replay for a reason to give you that opportunity. So like if you're having the like head of the referees association like come out and say like, hey, that should have been a penalty, then why was it not called? And that's
why was it not? Yeah.
Ultimately that's an issue on the refs and an issue on VAR and how it's being utilized. So, but yeah, that's kind of all I have for United. I guess transition to a less like controversial game. Newcastle smoked Villa 5-1.
Smoked them.
Alexander Isak had 2 goals. Who I thought was going to be probably the biggest flop in the Prem. Sandro Tonali had a goal within like 7 minutes.
He's only scored like twice, I think, in Latin in Serie A. His whole like season Serie A.
And then
he's not a goal scorer. He just happened to be. Dude, Harvey Barnes, bro.
Harvey Barnes, like a goal and assist off the bench. Like I thought he was going to be a bum too. Like it didn't make any sense. I was like, oh, like
nah. I know he was linked to West Ham, and I really wanted him. We were all thinking that he was going to be our next winger, and I was like, dude, that's awesome. I love Harvey Barnes. And then goes to Newcastle, and look what he does, man, off the bench.
Yeah. So, and like, I was kind of shocked. I thought Villa would have been a little bit better. And like, but they also like, Tyron Mings like went down with like a knee injury. I think it was like off rib. Yeah. Which like, that's a big loss for them. I know they had just got Pau Torres, but like still like, that's a new signing that's trying to adjust to the Prem. Like he's coming from La Liga, and La Liga is like obviously a way different pace than the Premier League is.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he's class, and I think they'll be all right. But still, like I think like for Villa, like that's a super disappointing result because I think that you make all these signings, you get like Tielemans, and you obviously get like somebody like Pau Torres and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But like to come away and to get smoked 5-1, like that puts a lot of fear, and I think that's kind of put the rest of the Premier League on notice. I'm not
for necessarily sure. It wasn't like you said, like a bum team. It wasn't like just like a bottom league team. Like it was Villa that did really good last year.
Yeah, and like I could see like I think I had Villa making 6th maybe or something like that. So like that's Villa's a team that can compete for European soccer next year, and it's just like to do that to them and like somebody that's almost like a direct competition for points in the Premier League is like that is a massive result I think for Newcastle and like a super disappointing result for Villa.
No, I agree.
So
I think they'll bounce back for sure.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't know who Villa has next, but I mean,
yeah,
it's got to be just the first result and just kind of still working with the Kings. Another super impressive result, Brighton. I know they won 4-1 over Luton Town, but and Luton's first ever Premier League game, but still I think that's that's like taking care of business at home and doing what you should do to a team that's a relegation, like probably a relegation favorite.
That's what you got to do. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like Joao Pedro, the new signing, had a goal. Solly March had a goal. Evan Ferguson, that's like, if you want to talk about somebody that Spurs should sign as a striker, Evan Ferguson is, I think, somebody that like I would love to have a chance at. So I think all 3 of them scoring. Matoma had an assist, and I think it's a left back, Stupinian. I think is how you say it.
Yeah, Stupinian. I think that's how you say it. That sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah, the Ecuadorian left back had an assist as well. So I think that Brighton's going to be a really, really good team to watch, and I know whenever Spurs play them, I'm looking forward to playing them, and they just lost Castillejo to Chelsea, but still, like I think that they're going to be damn good.
They're an excited team to watch for sure. I think almost like Newcastle, just a little lower than Newcastle, just because they have more exciting. Just name guys, like lower, less name guys.
Yeah,
they're just
absolutely.
Pooping.
Yeah, and like I think their manager De Zerbi said something that I kind of thought like stuck with me, is like when he was talking about Caicedo like about to leave to Chelsea, they're like they can buy our players, but they can't buy our heart, and like just something like that like shows like I don't know, it's kind of cheesy, but like still.
And their head coach leaving though too mid-season.
Yeah, like and De Zerbi like coming in and just like, and honestly like made them better. I think they're better now under De Zerbi than they ever were under Potter, and so like. To have that kind of buy-in and stuff like that, and like somebody that has never managed in a Premier League, like, and is constantly losing people. I mean, 2 years ago it was losing Basuma to Spurs. Last year it was who they lost. They sold somebody else big, and then now it was like Caicedo. Like,
I mean, just now McAllister too.
Yeah, exactly right. Like that's 3 big midfielders that they just lost, and then they're like, oh, okay, like no problem. Like we're gonna go find some other kid from South America, or we'll find somebody else. Like it doesn't matter. And like they just have this.
It's so diverse on their team, bro. They got everything. They got Mitoma. You said like the Ecuadorians too.
Yeah, they're just like
and then,
I don't know.
I love it, man. They're an exciting team, bro.
Yeah, it is, and that's like as a neutral, they're such a fun team to watch, and you know they're always gonna play good. They're always gonna have good matches, and you know they play good soccer. So. And then really the last big match that we want to talk about is the Chelsea-Liverpool match that was on Sunday afternoon. Ended in a 1-1 draw. Yeah. Did you have any big takeaways from that?
I was watching a little bit. I'm going to hold you. I woke up for the 8 a.m. game. And then I fell asleep a little bit through this game.
Yeah.
I don't know if I missed much. Did I miss much?
Not really. No, I had it on in the background, and I really paid attention to the first like 30 minutes. I didn't really feel like there was anything that was like super like that really like stood out to me. I think that some of the people that were kind of impressive was their center back Diassi, the Chelsea's center back, Axel Diassi or something like that. He ended up scoring a goal. I think it was off a corner or something like that. Which, from what I heard, was like he was like pretty impressive. So that's a lot of my like friends that are Chelsea fans were like really raving about him and kind of what he's done. I think it was Jota that scored the goal for Liverpool. So, I mean, I don't know. I think it'll be kind of interesting to see.
Was Diaz, I think, no?
Yeah.
I have Jota on my fantasy. That's the only reason I know that he didn't score. Okay. And then you beat me by 2 points. Yeah, we get it, bro.
Yeah.
We get it. That's tough. I lost in both leagues. Did you win in the draft one?
Yeah, I won in the draft one, too.
Oh.
It was like,
I'm 0 for 2, bro.
Like, yeah.
I'm in primetime form for fantasy football.
Can't relate. Yeah, I can't relate to that 0 for 2. So, yeah, man, I don't know. I think it'll be interesting to kind of see how those two teams kind of progress throughout the year. I've kind of like hit on previously, definitely last week, on how I'm not like super confident on Liverpool and their depth, specifically in midfield. I mean, they lost out on Caicedo, and then they also just lost on how do you say it? Lavia from Southampton, that midfielder.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, and they both decided to go to Chelsea. I mean, 180 million pounds to 2 midfielders that are under 21. So
yeah, it had to be personal right there. I don't know if you saw the clip on Twitter. It was Jurgen Klopp. He was going off to the post game show, and they're talking about Caicedo, and he just walked away.
And he fucking
said,
nah.
Yeah. He said, nope, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, I don't need any bit of it. So, and it's like, man, I don't know. I think those two teams, like Chelsea and Liverpool, are like, I think they're going to be super interesting to watch come this year. I don't know if like I've seen people that are saying Liverpool can win the league, and I've seen people that have said like, hey, like Liverpool like don't have the depth to do anything. Like, I mean, you're 2 injuries.
That's what I'm more on that side. I don't think they have that much depth, if I'm being honest.
And they just like
winning the league is crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not one of those people. I'm kind of on the they don't have depth side. So yeah, man, it'll be interesting to see. And then Chelsea, I mean, they just have a million players for 100 million pounds each. So,
oh my gosh, man, doesn't make it seem like nothing, bro.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of upsetting. But anyway, the next and kind of the other big story that's kind of floating around the football world is Neymar signing with Al-Hilal of the Saudi Pro League. Yeah, 31 years old, super. I don't know how you feel about him, but kind of like a flop. And I don't want to say flop because he's been up there and like one of the best in the world, but like just a waste of potential. Like, I mean, especially when he was in Santos, like you were gonna think that he was gonna be the next coming of Ronaldinho or like living up to the hype that Messi and Ronaldo have at that time. And then like, I mean, the days that he had with Messi and Suarez and like at Barcelona, but like were amazing. But like pretty much ever since his move to PSG, it's just kind of been downhill from him. Whether that's he got the big payday and all that, and then I mean now like PSG is selling him for 90 million euros, and then he's making, I think it's each 2-year contract for 100 million euros a season, and then
That's
I think
crazy.
with like some random like incentives, I think it's like he gets
Maybe
50 grand from like that's pro Saudi Arabia, like just
man.
stuff like that. Like anytime they win a game, he's getting like 50 grand. Like it just, I don't know what your opinions are on Saudi, but like I think it's
I'm not
crazy
a fan.
to see that.
I'm not a fan. I'm disappointed.
Yeah.
I'm very disappointed, man. For
like,
the game.
As like for the game, it's disappointing, but like as a person, I can't fault you. Like you're telling me like if somebody gave you $400 million to post on social media and go play soccer, like you wouldn't say no. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, but I'm
people
shitting on Neymar regardless, bro. I don't care.
Yeah, no, that's
I'm shitting on every single player in Saudi, even though I know damn well I'd probably take it. I give props to Mbappe for not leaving for that crazy 1-year contract.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm happy he didn't, but like that's crazy that he rejected it.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think it's just like it's crazy to see somebody like you would think like 31, like Neymar's still in his prime and has a chance to like he's still at PSG. Like PSG, I mean, they're not going to win Champions League, but they can compete still at the highest level of Europe. Like he could go and win Ligue 1. Like it doesn't make any sense. So I heard rumors that the reason why it's a 2-year contract is because he wants to sign like a free contract with Barcelona once his deal expires in Saudi before
33.
the World Cups. Yeah, because I guess like 2 years, that'll put it at the 2025 season. So 2025, 2026 going into the World Cup in 26, spend a year at Barca to train at the highest level, kind of like chill for 2 years, kind of take the legs off. I mean, maybe it makes sense. I don't really know. So it's the rumors. We'll see, man.
That wouldn't be a bad move. I think that's a pretty interesting theory now that you like put into perspective. Yeah. I mean, a lot of people are saying like Mbappe, bro, like just, I know you're, what is he, 23, 24? 23?
Yeah, I think he's
whatever
20,
he is.
23 or 24, yeah.
Yeah, and like just take that contract. It's 1 year. Saudi knows that you don't want to stay there forever. You still want to win a Ballon d'Or. You still want to win your Champions League. Like do this now. Get your money up. Be set for life for your kids, and then go back to wherever you want to go. And then I was like, I don't think Mbappe wants to do it. Like he definitely still wants to win his Champions League, and he's basically controlling PSG. I think he's the one that kind of pushed out Neymar.
Yeah, because I thought it was interesting that like pretty much once Neymar was like confirmed to be leaving, like PSG was like, okay, like I'll sign a contract again, and like I'll come back into the team.
He just decides to start practicing again.
And it's like he's like, you know what, like I'll extend my contract that way. Like next year, I'm not leaving on a free, and it just like shows like, oh, like it's kind of unhealthy the amount of like control that they're giving this kid. I mean, like understand?
Yeah, it's insane.
He's a top 5 player in the world, and so it's like, I get it, but still like it's a slippery slope for sure.
I think about it. Mbappe leaves PSG. I think PSG is irrelevant for sure. Like that's the only person that's keeping them 100%. Relevant right now. It's not their trophies. I mean, they win the league every year, like you said, but like Champions League, when they have ever proven anything?
Nothing. I mean, what they got to the final and lost.
They got to the final
City?
And lost.
Or Bayern.
It was Bayern. I think Bayern. It was the COVID year. I think no.
Yeah, it was the COVID year when. That was the year when Bayern were like a machine.
Legit.
So,
that's when they. I think they Barca, right?
Yes, that is that year. They also, they also did the Spurs that year too, 8-2 in London. Yeah.
But yeah, nothing disappointing for Neymar. Like I said, if you look at his career now, like it's a waste of a career. Ever since he left Barca, I wasn't a big fan of it. I was like, dude, why are you ruining? He wanted to leave Messi's shadow. We've seen it in a bunch of sports where like they try to leave one of the best players ever, and they try to leave. It's like, no, I don't like that. I'm gonna try to be my own, whatever, write my own story, whatever. And it's like, bro, you're at Barca and you guys were dominating. You were the best trio in the world. And you go chase the money and you go play at PSG and
now what? And then like ever since then he's been trying to like go back to Barca and just like
and Barca's like, I give them props.
So.
You know, I mean, I know Barca's been linked to them too, but it says like they're making it really impossible or hard for it to happen. Yeah, we'll transition to another story right here, which I think is fascinating. Ravens win their first preseason game, and I bet that was not a surprise for anyone, since they have won 23 straight preseason games. It's the longest mark in NFL history, and I'm just like, do you think they like look at that record and they go, all right, it's preseason, we got to keep this going, or do you think they don't care?
I think that at this point, it's kind of like something that they joke about. I don't think it's anything that they are like consistently like, oh, like we gotta like put our starters in an extra couple of drives, right? I think it's just like something like, oh, like, hey, like let's keep playing and let's put a little extra focus into like making sure that our game management is there. And it's I don't think that like if obviously right it's the preseason, so if they don't win, like their world and the season's not over, but like still it's something I think they joke about and that they have a good time with, but I don't think that they're putting any extra effort into it. But like it's still like a super crazy like coincidence that it's happened, because I mean, what you said 23 games, that's
23,
like, that's probably
since
what
2015.
5-6 seasons.
2015.
I mean that's unbelievable. So like I think it just shows the preparation that they're just they're a really well run organization. And Harbaugh's a great coach, and I think that kind of puts that into perspective about the fact that they're like, hey, like, you know, we're prepared. You know, all of our young guys like know what they're doing, and the guys that are getting a lot of reps, they're going to be like super in tune with it and know how to react in game situations. I think that's like the big thing that they want to see out of it, and the fact that it transitions into wins is even better.
Yeah, and I think it's funny. Yeah, they asked Harbaugh about it, and it's like a no hitter, you know, like commentator curse. Like we don't really talk about it. It's like we'll talk about it after the game.
That makes it.
I know everyone's thinking about it, you know, like come on.
Yeah, no, so that's funny. It's crazy.
Yeah, but I wonder if like the opposing teams like were like, nah, we're gonna be the team like to do it, or they're just like, nah, it's preseason. Like you can have the preseason record. We don't care.
I feel like that's how they think, is that it's like it's preseason, they don't really care. Because they're like, oh, like, especially a lot of the veteran guys are probably, unless you're like, if you're like competing for a job and you're like, oh, like we really like don't want to let these guys win because the only way that we look good is if we win and we dominate. But like the guys are like solidified in their positions and not have to worry about making a team. Like they're like, oh, I don't give a shit. Like I'm sitting there, like I'm not going to put any extra effort into making sure that game. You know, yeah, exactly right. And like you see guys like Dak aren't playing, like Zach Martin coming back, he's not going to play a snap. Like, there's no reason
he's not. Yeah,
there's no reason to care. There's no reason to worry about it.
No, yeah, that's crazy to me. I think it's funny, man. But yeah, it's like, again, impressive record. It's been known for like a long time. There was like a 13-leg parlay that I heard about that this guy had all MLB games and his last leg was for the Ravens to win. So I feel like he just knew, like, bro, preseason, bro, like
preseason, the Ravens, like
they're a lock, bro. They're a lock, and they just did it and they cashed out, bro. It was crazy.
That's unreal. I could only imagine.
It's funny, man.
The dreams. Dreams are made of.
Hitting those parlays, man.
Yeah. Crazy.
I haven't been in a while, so I've been living life pretty well without betting.
All right, and so now to kind of get into the next story, kind of the last one that's not regarding the Dallas sports is James Harden. So I don't know if you guys heard this, but pretty much he was at some Adidas conference in China.
Yeah, China.
And came out and said that Daryl Morey is and I'll quote it specifically because I have it down, is Daryl Morey is a liar and I will never be part of an organization that he is a part of. Let me say this again. Daryl Morey is a liar and I will never be part of an organization that he is a part of.
Like, why do you have to repeat it, bro? Like the thing is, like it was like scripted, a TV show.
Let me be clear.
Yeah, let me be clear. Like you said it again, like, bro, you have a mic. People are filming you. They're gonna quote this regardless. But now they're going to quote it twice because you said it twice.
It's just like, it's unbelievable. And it's funny to me because if I'm correct, Daryl Morey was like the GM in Houston, but he was like at the Rockets for forever. And then now he's basically in the same position in Philadelphia where James Harden obviously is at now. So like, you would think that like, especially after the year before Harden got traded and like James Harden like came in like super fat to training camp.
He finds ways to get out of teams, bro. Everyone's saying get the fat suit out or whatever's next.
bro. That's unreal. And it's just like, you would think that Daryl Morey like sees like, oh hey, like, all right, this is what's coming. You got a good solid 2 years, and then it's like, all right, here it is. You know, we got to ship him off to the next team. So
that's crazy.
I don't know, man. I think it's so funny. Let me say
he
that
would have
again.
been he would have been a free agent too, so he could have been able to pick, bro.
Yeah, like he had an opportunity.
He was gonna be a free agent, but he opted in.
So yeah, so it kind of makes me interested to see. Yeah, it kind of makes me interested to see. Like, obviously, there's some backstory to it. From somebody made a promise that wasn't fulfilled. So I mean, I'm curious to see what it is. And you know, obviously, James Harden like didn't need to opt in. I think he had a player option, and he didn't need to opt in. And he didn't need to re-sign. So like, at the end of the day, it's on James Harden for doing that. But I guess you got to take promises at face value. But like, still, like, if you knew that you were like the slightest bit unhappy, what's the point of opting in?
I don't know if it's just to like.
So
there's got to be something behind it why he did it. Like, obviously, he was gonna get like I think it's like 38 mil guaranteed or whatever, and like maybe he just wanted the money. But then he's like, you know what? I'm gonna make them struggle a little bit. I opted in, but go ahead and trade me. When he could have had the opportunity to just pick basically what team he wanted to go to.
Pick where you want. And it's not like he wouldn't have got a big contract. I mean, like, I don't know. I guess like he hadn't been as like dominant. He hasn't been like MVP Harden, so he's not like he's not the guy that's gonna give you like, you know, 30, 10, and 8 or whatever that he's done in the past, you know. So I don't know. I mean, he's obviously getting older, he's lost a step, so
yeah, so we'll see where end up going. I know he was linked to Clippers and stuff with his hometown team or whatever. But no, we'll see, bro. The drama just keeps going with those Brooklyn Nets boys, bro. I don't know what was going on in the locker room with Kyrie, KD.
Yeah, Harden. Now look at them. None of them are there. So
yeah, I know. I'm just hoping Kyrie doesn't tell any crazy shit to Luka.
Nah, I think everything I've seen is like, he seems happy. Way. I think
Kyrie seems happy.
He seems happy. He seems happy.
So
Lucas
let's see how
seems
long
like
he stays
as
like
motivated
that.
as he ever been. Yeah, we'll see. It takes like
let's see how long he stays like
streak. And don't even put that out in the world. Maybe I need to say that. You know, maybe like with my track record, maybe it's like, hey, Kyrie's gonna taint it. We're not gonna do anything. We're gonna have
there you go.
You know, we're gonna tank
and we'll
again.
Fast forward to next summer when Luka's holding
for
up
the NBA champs.
The NBA championship, bro. Oh yeah, I see what you're doing now.
Please, there it is. Reverse jinx.
There you go. Let's see if it works.
Yeah, man. So now to kind of get into the bread and butter, the main part of the podcast, we're going to go into a little bit of the DFW sports. So kind of the big team that's in play right now, and that's really important, is the Texas Rangers. Boys are hot. I don't know what the score is currently as we're recording. There's a game on.
Yeah.
Currently against the Angels.
Rangers up.
Okay, let's go.
Bottom of
big
the 8th.
Time. So
yeah.
Sweet. All right, that's good news. So since we last talked, the Rangers played a series in San Francisco against the Giants. They ended up winning the series, which is their first road series win since May of this year.
That's insane to me, bro. And you're still like leading the division with that winning record?
I think as we speak, we have a 3.5 game lead over the Astros. So I think that's a massive series win. So Friday 2-1 win. John Gray went 7, only gave up 2 hits, no earned, 7 Ks. Mitch Garver continued his hot streak, had another home run, as did the turtleneck bandit, Nate Lowe.
Yep.
Saturday.
I got a splash homer too, bro.
Yeah, it's crazy. Did I talk to you about this? That no right-handed batter has ever hit
a
splash home run I think it's Oracle Park.
Yeah, Oracle Park.
And there's been like 150 splash home runs over the course of the existence of the stadium, but like right-handed batters, not a single person's done it.
No one's just gone oppo.
It's so crazy. Which, like, I mean, I guess like the power that you're gonna have to do it is like.
I mean, but you see oppo home runs, so like it's just like I don't know if you just see it and you just get like. I don't know, like you just get scared of it. I don't know, just like shit.
Yeah,
I don't know,
guess.
Bro. But that's actually an insane stat.
Crazy stat.
Yeah.
Saturday, we had a nice little 9-3 win. A little scary early on in the second inning. Andrew Heaney leaves with 1 out, bases loaded. kind of comes in to say that Bochy says that it was just like he was just sick, had the crud. So hopefully he'll be all right. Hopefully we'll have this. Yeah,
he said that he had a crud. So like you can't just say he's sick. Gosh, I love Bochy though. I love him to death, bro.
Yes, bro. It's it's funny. So kind of good signs. We don't need another injury. We're starting to get guys back healthy. So the fact that he was just sick, a little precautionary thing. That's good with me. Chris Stratton, big deadline pickup, went 3 innings.
He's been so good, bro.
Yeah, and I think like this is kind of like the first notable performance that I've noticed from him. But like 3 innings, 1 hit, 1 walk, 1 strikeout, like scoreless.
Yeah,
like,
knowing that he can go that many innings, get that many chunk of innings.
Yeah,
going early.
And it's like especially like to go base like he wasn't the one that immediately came on when Haney left, but like still,
it was
like,
Grant
bases
Anderson
loaded.
came in.
Yeah, so like bases loaded situation, like to get out of that, to go have, I think Anderson went like 2 innings, have Stratton go another 3 after that to let the next thing that I'm talking about is like 6 Rangers had a multi-hit game. So like to give an opportunity for the bats to get hot is just like that's super, super important and super, super valuable. So hopefully that's a winning formula when it comes to October, September. If we kind of go that far, so
that's when it matters, bro. We've seen it with the Dodgers happen a lot. I only know that just from like, because I have friends that are Dodger fans. Like you'll be hot all season, and it comes to October. Like let's say you get the number 1 or number 2 seed, you get that break, and it's kind of bad. That's kind of bad. You're not playing for so long. Some teams are capable of still raking, some aren't.
Yeah,
and it's just you gotta stay hot at the right time.
Yeah, and I'm. You had somebody like the Rays that peaked as you started the season, and then now super like way too early, and then now you have like look at them like they've had like a super super piss poor record since the break. Really, they were really bad in June and July, and it's just like I'd rather
they've been unlucky with injuries, and I don't want to give them that one because like we've been injured too. We've had so many injuries, and we're still striving. Like I said last week, next man up is going crazy right now. But you got to feel for the Rays. That whole Wander Franco situation is crazy.
Yeah, they got a lot of minor leaguers.
You hope it's not true, bro. You hope it's not true. Twitter had a field day with that one, man. Twitter had a field day. Twitter had a field day. And then Shane McClanahan, he was going for Cy Young, and they just said he's getting Tommy John, so he's going to be out until next year.
Jeez, that's brutal.
So, I mean, they missed a lot of guys in the starting rotation. So, I mean.
Yeah, it's crazy. Kind of venturing back to the Rangers. Garver stayed hot again, went 3 for 5 on Saturday, 3 RBIs. Sunday, I don't know if you caught this game. I didn't have a chance to watch it, but ended up losing 3-2 in the 10th. I don't know if you want to, Dane Dunning.
Yeah, I can go off on that one, bro. Dane Dunning, 12 Ks. Dane Dunning, 12 Ks, bro. I think he has 3 games this season with 10 or more Ks. And his whole career,
he's got
he
2 in
only
a row.
has like 1 or 2.
Yeah, and I think that's 2 starts in a row or 2 starts out of 3 where he's had more than 10 Ks.
Yeah, and 12 was his career high. Like, he is not a strikeout guy, bro. If he can put that into his game, dude, he's big time. My gosh. Big time.
Big time.
Yeah, but talking about that game, we shouldn't have been in the situation to win. Logan Webb was throwing an absolute gem against us. He was 1 out away from a complete game, and then he got someone on base. It was JP. We'll talk about JP at the end of this recap. He gets on base. He gets then he gets on second, and then I think it's Heim pulls one, and like they are to Crawford, and he goes across the base, but JP was on second. He was already stealing, so he just keeps running through the base. So he goes from second to home on an infield hit. What I don't get is how Crawford didn't see that and pump and go home, but I thought he thought he could make the play at. Yeah, he thought he could make the play at first, and they beat the run, or like he beat the throw. So then JP scores, and I'm like, holy fuck, that JP. We'll talk, like I said, we'll talk in a little bit, but JP has been such a great addition. And then you get to extra innings, you score, you probably should have scored more, and you're down to I think maybe 1 or 2 outs left, and then Will Smith gives up a homer to, I forgot his Patrick. I forgot his name because I was watching it and I was pissed. But you shouldn't have won that game, so you couldn't have been mad. You were getting you're about to get shut out, complete game by Logan Webb. You can't even be mad. That's a great pitcher.
Yeah, it's
and
just
then
great pitching performance.
Put yourself in front. Yeah, you had 2 great pitching performances, bro. You had Dunning, and like I love going to those games, man. I'll take those games any day. When it's pitching, bro, both of them going at it, I love it. And then you said you get frustrated because first you weren't supposed to win and you were winning, but you end up losing the game that you weren't supposed to win. So, however you feel about that, but it was a good game.
Yeah, man, it is what it is. I think I think the one thing is baseball's such a long season. You can't expect to win them all, right? And I mean, you're gonna have those games where we can talk about we'll get into it eventually, but like the performance that Scherzer had last night, like you just have one of those games where like the opposing pitcher is just like he's just on it and nobody's hitting you. I mean, it just is what it is, So it happens, and the fact that we're at least able to force it to extras is just it's at least good out. Like it's good for like the mentality of the team. I would
say. How you said talking about losing games, like I try to explain to my girlfriend, I'll be like, yeah, bro. I mean, I don't know how people do it. Like football or whatever, like soccer, even like you lose and you're pissed. But baseball, you lose, but you're like, we're gonna play again tomorrow and the next day, the next day.
Yeah,
a good team will lose like what, 60, 70 games, average.
Yeah,
like a really good team. That's crazy to me.
60 games.
60, 70 games.
Yeah.
And like that's why I try not to be mad, bro. I know it's a long season. But we're getting closer and closer to September, October, so I'm just like, it's like I just want to win every single game. So
I don't know. I think that's the biggest part that I'm like learning as like I don't want to say a new baseball fan, but like like really, really paying attention to it more often. Like, damn, like we probably could have had that one, but like, hey, like it is what it is. It kind of
irks you even more. Like I haven't been feeling this way. Like I got a memory. Like a year ago, I think, I was watching a Ranger game. It was Colby Allard pitching. I don't even remember who Colby Allard is. Terrible left-handed pitcher. And he absolutely he winds up and like the pitch flies out of his hand and goes like almost like the dugout. And I was watching a Ranger Oakland game in the middle of August. Pointless game for both of them. And I was watching that and I was just like, this is going to be long, bro. I don't know why I'm doing this, bro. Like, I've been through the pain.
Was that 2021? 2021, like Taylor Hearn
last
was
year,
like
2 years ago.
Day starter.
Exactly, bro. We've been through it, man. We've been through it. We deserve this.
That was the dog days. That was the dog days. You know what? I think I saw that Chris Young, I think, was fired a year ago today.
Yeah.
Or whoever
the old GM was fired a year ago.
Right.
They were cleaning house a year ago. Yeah.
Yeah. So like all that happened a year ago.
And then why am I blanking on her coach from last year?
No, it wasn't. Woodward?
Chris Woodward? Chris Woodward. Yeah, he got fired a year ago.
Yeah, Chris Woodward. Yeah, that's who it is. So, and Chris Young is still
eventually, I think
the GM.
But eventually, because Chris Young's the new GM, the old GM eventually got kicked.
Got canned too.
Then we'll talk JP Martinez, yeah? All right, JP, man. It's been a great addition. I talked about it. I was like, he kind of give you like an Adolis vibe. Little 28-year-old, little young 28-year-old rookie, right? That absolutely rakes. Well, he's a different profile than Adolis, obviously. He's got a nice crack to the bat, but he's more of like a hit guy. I don't think he's got and he's super fast, bro. Watching it live, like I was at the game yesterday, dude. He is fast, and ever since his first outing, I think he's got a multi-hit game. Except for his first game, he didn't get on. He only got on base on the walk, but he's gotten a multi-hit game every single time
every
since.
Game. That's crazy.
He came back.
Yeah,
and he's just so valuable because like I was talking about it where he like I hate how players are like you hit an infield hit and like they're jogging, they don't even make it to first. But I love the guys that are trying to prove themselves and just running through the bag. And he beat one yesterday and like just a passion. I think that's what you need from a guy like that, just to bring up the clubhouse, So I've been loving how.
And I think that's like a great. It's like a great time of the season to add somebody like that too. It's just like a breath of fresh air. Because I mean, right, you're 110 games into the season, 120 games into the season. Like this is the point where like it's really like you really got to be into it. You really got to be like, you got to be putting your best foot forward every day. Long time, like Texas, it's 110 out for 15 days straight. Like,
yeah,
I know we're playing inside, but like still, like just somebody that give you that breath of fresh air, that give you that energy, and like having somebody that's just gonna make those effort plays is just gonna, and like you're having like somebody like JP like making those effort plays, and you have guys like Jonah Heim starting to come back from injury, like Eovaldi like threw like a 2-inning long
another bullpen today.
Like,
mm-hmm.
Yeah, so like you just like start to see like, hey, like we're on like what, and 8-2 in our last 10, and we're having guys that are like we're getting better. Like
and our lineup. I feel like Coach is going to start having a problem making the lineup.
But like
Jankowski was out, and then you're bringing in JP. You benched Leote today because he's been god awful. He's been batting like sub 200, maybe sub 150 for the month of July and August. So. And he's messed up a couple of times in the outfield too, which is pissing me off. But hey, maybe JP is gonna be I don't know, like, but Leote's valuable with his speed as well and like switch hitter. But I mean, you see that, maybe that makes you want to do better. And I mean, onto by Ezekiel a little bit. Ezekiel's been on a little funk. If I'm being honest, you could see it yesterday.
He's gotten better though. He's gotten better. I think I think it was when the same day that Garver had 3 hits. So what was that, Saturday? Like he had he had 2 or 3, and then tonight he's 2 for 4.
Okay.
He's not hitting as well as he was at the start of the year, and I couldn't tell you the last time he had a home run, but like, yeah, I know that really since the All-Star break he's kind of been struggling at the plate.
Yeah,
and I think he was almost.
Yeah, keep going.
I think right before the All-Star break, maybe he was a 300 hitter.
Oh yeah,
somewhere
him and
thereabouts. And now he's at 285. I mean, which
is still not bad. Like, we were here complaining, bro. Like 285, I'm taking that all day.
Absolutely, and like his OPS is still like close to 800, is like right at 800, 810. So like that's something that like you're complaining about because he's in a slump, but like still like, and like looking back to that 2021 season, like if we were to say that like our 8-hole hitter has 810 OPS and he's going through a slump, like, and we're upset about it, like.
I think it's good that we're getting upset about it. It just shows how, like,
absolutely.
How much we know this team is capable of, and like we know that they could be doing better. And I mean, he's lucky right now that he hasn't. He's not. Like no one's really no one else can play third. I mean, you have Josh Smith. But you're not going to put Josh Smith over Ezekiel.
No shot.
Yeah.
Somebody that's even worse at the plate.
He's been getting on base like once I see him, like he put some batting gloves on. He usually does.
He has been raking a little bit. I say raking, but like he's been raking for him.
For Josh Smith, recently. I was like, that's raking. For Josh Smith, that's raking. That's raking.
Bro, it's the batting gloves. It's the batting gloves.
The batting gloves, bro. I hate when people don't wear batting gloves. It just pisses me off. They're trying to be different so bad.
Josh Young, I don't understand. Like I think Josh Young wears 1 batting glove. I don't know if you've ever noticed.
Sometimes maybe.
Next time.
Does he? No, I don't think he wears any. Does he?
Yeah, and I think he wears. I'm telling you, I think he wears 1, and it doesn't make any sense to me. Because I remember like looking at it in a game, and I was like, "What are you doing? Like, why? Just wear gloves. Like you're holding an all wood bat.
I think Cal Tucker doesn't wear gloves either, and he absolutely rakes. So obviously, doesn't make you better or worse.
Yeah, it's just like I don't know. If you're a 220 hitter, maybe try some batting games. I don't know. Who am I to talk? I did never.
Yeah, we got a 0 batting average over here, bro. We can't be talking. But I know I'd be wearing gloves. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, that's facts. But yeah, kind of to move on. No shot. To move on to the current Rangers Angels series. You were at the game yesterday. Tell me a little bit about the 12-0 win.
It was awesome, man. Like I said, we got to see position player pitch, so that was fun.
Oh yeah,
he was low-key slinging sometimes. We were talking about it, bro, that he was nodding balls and stuff. Bro. He was nodding the pitch count, like, bro, just throw your ball. He was low-key slinging some though. Like he throws some lobbed ones, and he just slings it. I'm like, damn. Bro.
Yeah, it was like funny. Like I was like watching it, and I was like, he would all of a sudden just like sit there and just like quick, just almost like quick pitch, and then he would throw like 82. Like up and in.
I was like, oh my god, yeah.
And I was like, I understand how they're not getting on base. They're ground. I think somebody grounded into a double play yesterday. Like you see that, and then he like lobs a 42 mile an hour like junk ball into the dirt
on the computer on the the screen. It tells you the pitches. When he throws those lob ones, it'd be like slider. I'm like, bro, there ain't no slider.
No, that was no slider.
Oh my god,
that was like BP.
Yeah. But another interesting thing that I saw was with Patrick Sandoval. He played for Mexico. He's Mexican, so I rooted for him a little bit. He was also my fantasy, and I was really close to not playing him. But then Yahoo Sports comment said, "Bro, his numbers against the Rangers are really good." So I said, okay, I'm going to bet against my team. And he couldn't even get out the second inning, which was very frustrating, though. If you were watching the game, he should have been out the inning, but they weren't covering, I think, on one of the plays, so he had to stay again. And you could just see, like, in his body language, bro, he did not want to pitch anymore. He was frustrated. Should have been out the inning, like I said. And, like, the way he was getting the ball back, like, he was barely catching it. He was just mad, and he got benched, and you saw him go to the bench, and, like, you see stuff that you don't see on TV. He was just sad as shit sitting there. And I also saw Scherzer, bro. For Scherzer's once that last out is from the batting, when the Rangers are on offense, he's the first one up and up running. He's running.
I believe it. He's a psychopath.
He's running, bro. Like, you know,
psychopath.
No, he's waiting right there, and he runs. And I'm like,
yeah, he goes.
God,
he's like,
bro.
Okay.
But yeah, he was absolutely amazing, bro. Seeing his curveball in like live 74, 72 miles per hour, you're just like, why are people not doing this?
Some of his strikeouts like were just like, I don't remember what inning it was. I think it was like a 3K inning that he had, and just like one of the pitch sequences that he had was just like disgusting.
It's insane to me.
He got like a swinging strikeout on like a slider that was probably like 2 foot in the opposing box, and like just like. And it broke so late, and you just see the batter just like sticks his bat out there because like he had already committed way like too early on. It's like I have no shot, and like to go 7.
It was fun watching him. Like I said, for the first time watching him live, it was fun.
Yeah, man. And then like I know you and I had talked about it through text, but like Adoli's like his home run, like he just like throws his bat out there, and it looks like a pop up off his bat, and then it goes 415 dead center.
I was gonna say, no, I saw him swing, and like you see, like he kind of, I don't know if he kind of swung with one arm, kind of because he reached for it. It was outside. It wasn't even a bad pitch.
Didn't make sense.
Outside the box or outside the strike zone, and I see him like pimping it, like he's walking. You know, he throws his bat, and I'm like, bro, you popped up. But then I'm looking at the ball, going deep center, and I'm like, there's no way that just got out of here. Like I was like, bro,
It was honestly to me like I was like, oh okay, like it's just like a warning track pop up or something like that, and then I saw like it just like cleared the wall, and I was like, whoa, like, and then you look at him and you're like, okay, like you forget that like he's built like a Greek god, like he's just like massive.
Man, he got so much pop to his bat, bro. My gosh.
Yeah.
I saw some homers with Simeon and Garcia. So
I mean, 5 RBIs yesterday, which is like
season high.
I mean, that's pretty nice.
Yeah.
So. And then tonight, game just went final, 7-3 win.
It's another dub, baby.
Yeah, another dub. Seager, 5 RBIs, 2 home runs tonight.
He homered again?
See it.
I saw the first homer, but then since we've been filming, I haven't looked at anything.
Yeah, and then, like I said, Zeke, 2 for 4 tonight. And then who else had an RBI? Simeon had another RBI. And Jankowski also had an RBI. Montgomery went pretty well, had a pretty good night. 6 innings pitched, 6 hits, 1 earned, 9 Ks. So it's it looks like the deadline moves that we made were pretty nice, and like another guy.
Our starting rotation has looked so good, man. Like this recent Perez, spam of games, bro.
Yeah, like I know, like really, it was like July, like we were kind of going through it pitching wise, and then now like. Really, since the month has changed, and really since the deadline, like I guess that's the same time if you think about it. But like really, since August has started, like our rotation has just looked so good, and like our relievers, like Chapman, tonight had an inning pitched, no hits, no like 1K. Stratton, I mean, like just everybody's.
So, he finally gave up a bomb. I see that. So he's human.
Yeah. So. Really, looking ahead, kind of. I mean, it's looking good. I mean, that's a series win against a division opponent, and then you got John Gray on the mound tomorrow. So hopefully, kind of finish out the sweep, and then big series against the Brewers coming up. Which I'm kind of interested to see like what you're thinking on that series and how important it is, even though they're not an AL side.
Yeah, I see we're gonna see Woodruff, so I'm not liking that at all. Looks like he just got back. Like I said, I don't pay attention too much to the Brewers, but they've been consistently kind of good.
Yeah.
Are they leading the division?
I saw that this is only going to be his 5th game that he started all year.
I was about to say, but he's got a sub-2 ERA, what it looks like right now.
Yeah, I mean, in 4 games to have
he's a damn good pitcher,
2-1. Yeah, sub 2 ERA, 26 Ks, and the less than 1 WHIP.
Yeah, that's
walks and
massive.
sprinting. Like that's pretty impressive. So I think we kind of got the meat of our starters coming up anyway with Heaney, Dunning, and Scherzer.
Yeah, you better hope
Friday,
you get the good Heaney.
Sunday.
And he's been on a tear ever since we got those starters, and he knows that his job's on the line, or someone's job's on the line when Eovaldi comes back.
Yeah.
Unless you go to that 6-man rotation. But you already saw Martin get the boot.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how it goes. And then kind of looking past that, we got the Diamondbacks. Probably this time next week when we're recording, we'll kind of be talking about the 2-game series that we have against the Diamondbacks. But, I mean, that's Rangers are kind of looking to take it home and kind of keep going how they are.
Yeah. What you got? Let's see. Next time we make our podcast, what do you think our record's going to be? Our week record?
So we got 6 games if we count.
Or 6 games?
6 games
if we count the one. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll count the one tomorrow, and I say that probably lose tomorrow. We probably lose on Tuesday. Zach Gallen's on the mound, and
I see that. We've been kind of unlucky with all the rotations. We get all the good pitchers.
Yeah, so I think we lose those 2. I think we sweep Milwaukee, and I think we split with Arizona. So I think we go 4-2, and really in some combination. But I think 4-2 kind of makes sense. I could see us maybe dropping 1, maybe the Heaney start if he's not back to his full health, like full over the sickness.
Oh yeah, you gotta hope he doesn't miss anything. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, if he's fine, then I think we go 4-2. But I mean, you really never know. But I think 4-2 is something that I think is realistic, and I think that kind of, I don't know who the Astros have coming up. I think you'll know more than I will, but I think that's kind of like a good look in what we got going on.
Yeah, that's a good transition. How you said. I'm going to talk about real briefly about the Rangers and Astros remaining strength of schedule. Saw a little article about this. So, because I've been seeing, like I told you, I don't want to even shout his name out because I don't want to give him any type of clout. I forget what his name is. I'm sure you've seen him. That guy on Twitter. This is the second time I've talked about him. He's always shitting on the Rangers, saying, "Oh, but put the straight to schedule," or like, "Look who they're playing," blah blah blah. If you had to guess, who do you think has a harder remaining schedule, the Rangers or the Astros?
I'm gonna assume the way that you pose the question, it's the Rangers,
and you are correct.
Yeah.
Yep. This article it's not even a Rangers Astros article. It's literally just showing the schedule: 3 contenders who are helped and 3 who are hurt by the remaining of the games. And the Rangers are one of the teams that are being hurt. They're the number 1 team. They have the hardest remaining schedule
in the MLB. Who do we play?
So it says because we have a series against the Mariners, the Astros, the Blue Jays, the Brewers, and the Red Sox.
Jeez, yeah.
And then the third easiest strength schedule is the Astros. Hear the schedule out for these guys. The Rangers we're the toughest remaining games for them. They have 12 games to go against Oakland, Royals, and Tigers.
No way.
That's 12 of their games, their remaining season.
That's actually crazy to think about. That like 3 of the worst teams in the league that they have. So
and they have 12 games. But again, like you said, we have the same schedule. We played those guys early in the season.
It is, right?
So you got to take advantage of the game. Like I said, we're going to be going to that Monday Labor Day game. That series is going to – dude, I'm excited. That's going to feel like some postseason baseball.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially Labor Day.
I love it.
It's going to be packed.
It's going to be packed. It's going to be packed.
Yeah.
Think about it, bro. 3 o'clock, some brewskis, game out. Woof.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to start a fight, bro. I'm going to start a fight.
Hey, come on now. Come on.
And I'll talk one more briefly thing. The Rangers did sign a 2-time All-Star. Not too big of a name, Josh Harrison. He was on the Phillies to start off the season, but they had to cut someone from their 40-man when they traded for Michael Lorenzen, which threw a no-no last time we were talking.
Yeah, so I guess it was a good cut. I guess
it was pretty good cut. He was only batting like 200, I think, with them. For his career, 270, 73 homers, 380 RBIs, and 1,200 games. He started with the Pirates, went to the Nationals, Athletics, and White Sox, and recently the Phillies, and now the Rangers. But he's going to be on a minor league deal. He's a big utility guy. He played 6 different positions for the Phillies.
pretty
So I think he could just play anywhere in the outfield. He's going to be like a Zeke, as he can play anywhere in the outfield.
Yeah.
And some infield guys. I don't think we'll see him play. Maybe just to have a guy. Maybe with Brad Miller, maybe he
add him
maybe
to the
more
40-man
valuable
or something like that. Yeah. I mean,
and I think that's when you
something
get
like
Brad
that.
Miller.
Yeah, and that it kind of makes sense, right? Like you're getting the playoffs, and you want to have that flexibility. And like, say somebody does get hurt, like you want to have somebody on the 40-man that you have, like that's proven in the majors. And it's nice that we have a really good farm system, but like still, like you don't want to bring.
You don't want to get those young guys in this like important like these games now. Obviously,
I mean, say you're in the ALDS and you need to call before the ALDS, you need to call somebody up. Like you don't want to call up somebody you don't want to call up Evan Carter.
That's what I'm saying. I think that's what JP was the guy to call up instead of Evan Carter, which is good because you don't want to rush him yet. I think they really want to be patient with him. They don't want to. I think they did that with Leote a little bit when he first started. He had a bunch of like up and down seasons. It looks like he's finally got it settled down. So I don't think they want to do that with Leote or with Evan Carter.
So I think it's a good pickup, and I think it's a smart move just to bring in more depth.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt you. And it's a utility guy that can play anywhere whenever you.
Yeah.
And if I told you last weekend, the fraternity, there's a lot of guys that are about to have kids.
Yeah.
They didn't say who. Maybe another guy goes down, and that's why you get Harrison to come up. Just fill up that spot.
Absolutely. Need somebody to have the kids soon or wait. I mean, especially.
Or just be like, hey, we'll send you some flowers.
Yeah.
But we got a game tomorrow.
Come on now. Yeah. And then kind of the last two major points, we'll kind of breeze through this stuff. We're kind of running a little long today.
Yeah, we're having more fun today.
Cowboys. Yeah, right? The Cowboys, they had the first preseason game against the Jags. They ended up losing. I think it was 28-23, 28-24.
Yeah, something like
that. It doesn't really matter. We didn't really it's the preseason. You just have guys that are going out there, especially the first preseason game. They're getting the young guys out there, trying to get them reps, trying to get them, prove whether or not that they can do it. I was pretty impressed to see that Will Grier and Cooper Rush combined to go 32 of 43, 246 yards, and 2 touchdowns, and an interception. Obviously, it's a lot of completions for not very many yards. I think it was like 6.3 or 6.6 yards an attempt.
That's insane.
Which, isn't great.
And only 246 yards.
Yeah, isn't really great, but like to have, 2 backup quarterbacks that can go out there and consistently complete passes, and at least like put the ball in play and let your play. Like, you didn't see guys like CD or Brandon Cooks or Michael Gallup out there running around. So like, just to have guys like that you can trust to go out there and at least put the ball in your playmaker's hands and like do something is super, super valuable to have. One guy that like I was super impressed with when I was watching the highlights was Deuce Vaughn. I think he was kind of the talk all over social media.
Bro. He was everywhere.
And that's like as like a TCU fan and like seeing him up close and personal, really like at the Big 12 championship game at AT&T was like just some of the like one-on-one in an open field tackle, like Deuce Vaughn.
I don't think anyone can get him, bro.
Extremely difficult to tackle. And obviously there's the story on like the narrative that he's 5'5", like a $180, but like his center of gravity like is super, super low. And he just like he can change direction like it's nothing, and so it's like really, really good to have. 8 carries, 50 yards is like for a debut on somebody that like, is he big enough to be in the NFL? Like, can he like withstand it? Like, he's not going to be your main back, but like even if he was, like he could do it, I think. And so I think that like behind somebody like a Tony Pollard, like I think Deuce Vaughn is like a great person to have, and I know Dak has raved about him all camp. And like all the reports are coming out that like he's like really, really going to be an important playmaker this year, and I think that that's somebody that's like great to have. Talking on another playmaker, Jalen Tolbert. So he was a 3rd-round draft pick out of Southern Alabama, maybe. I don't know. I don't really remember where.
Yeah.
But last year was his rookie year, and everybody in camp has been saying that like he is like really balling out. He's
legit,
really taking a big step. I think.
Yeah, big steal.
Yeah, Last year was kind of a disappointing year. He didn't really contribute like he wanted him to, but like in the preseason game, 2 receptions, 29 yards, a tud. I sent you you a tweet like with a ridiculous catch that he made in the end zone. Like, yeah, it's just like super, super impressive, and it's good to see somebody like that take a jump. I mean, our like starting 3 receivers are pretty nailed down, and CD, Brandon Cooks, and Michael Gallup, but like to have a fourth receiver that you can trust to go out in the game, and let's say he has 10 receptions, 150 yards, and 2 touchdowns on the season. Like that's successful, I think, for a second-year guy that's playing behind 3 studs. That's pretty impressive. And then really the last big point that I have on the Cowboys is finally the Zach Martin holdout ends.
About time, bro. I think it took one preseason game. Jerry saw one preseason game and saw that's our backup O-line. One of these guys is going to have to start. And he said, how much did you want, Zach? How much did you want, Zach?
Yeah. And I think it's a good solution for everybody. $18 million each of the next 2 years. So it's a $8.5 million increase over the next 2 years. He was originally scheduled to get 13.5 this year and then 14 next year. And he's a future Hall of Famer. He has more Pro Bowls than holding calls. Like, it's
that's just insane.
Like, when you put it like that, like it just doesn't make any sense. And it's like, I mean, he's kind of the heart of what we have on the offensive line. And you know that when he's out there and when he's healthy, like he's going to be playing at all-pro level. And it's like, okay, we want to take care of you and we want you to be there. And, I think he's worth every bit of that $18 million. And then I'll let you hit on this if you want, but really the last big deal is former Cowboy Ezekiel Elliott signs a 1-year deal with the Patriots. I think it was a $3 million base salary with a $1 million signing bonus, and then incentives can take it up to another $2 million to a total value of $6 million. Do you think that he's going to really contribute? I know they have like Ramondre Stevenson up there and stuff like that, and I'll be kind of interested to see like what he really has left in the tank.
I mean, with Belichick, bro, anything's possible. I don't know if you saw. I think Michael Parsons tweeted that Zeke was going to go for like 2K yards or something.
Yeah, because he trimmed his hair back. He's back.
And I was like, yeah, that's what you saw first. You saw the haircut, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's skinny Zeke. Or I don't know if it's just a picture, like maybe with Luka too. You see like Luka get a haircut in the summertime. It's like, oh my god, skinny Luka.
100%. Bill Belichick was like, hey, like if you want to sign this deal, like you gotta cut your hair. Gotta cut it.
Shit. So yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. He's the type, bro. He'd love the Yankees.
Yeah, that's it.
It's probably his favorite team. Yeah. But I think, I mean, the thing is, he wasn't a bad back for us, but it was like once you put into consideration how much he was making and what he was contributing to the team, like it wasn't that it was bad. It was just the ratio was really off with what he was doing with the reps. Getting overtaken by Pollard at some point in the season. And like I said, I wanted him on the team. I really did. But I'm happy he was able to find someone, and we'll play him in week 4, I think, this year. So we'll see him there, and hopefully he doesn't run all over us.
Yeah, I think he would have been a great person to have as like a second string back. I mean, if we could have got him for, the bad thing is I don't think we have the $4 million to give him. But like if we could have gone back for a year and like $2 million guaranteed or something like that, like I think he would have been a great second back, because I know we've kind of already talked about it in the past, but like he's great in goal line situations. He's a great pass protector. Like I think he does a lot of good things still, and he may not be 100%, or he may have not been 100% healthy the last 2 years or last 3 years, but like I think he's still somebody that is like super popular in the locker room. Obviously, like big name when it comes to the fans, and like I think he would have been helpful to have. But
he's a damn good number 2. I mean, I'll tell you that.
Absolutely, and like you could do a lot worse. So hopefully, I don't think the Patriots are really going to be that good this year. So obviously, I'm still a fan of him, and I think he's a great player. And
I'll root for him, just not week 4.
I'd love to see him. Yeah, that's it. I would love him to do well, and just not against the Cowboys. So that's kind of it for the Cowboys. I know some stuff going on with Luka and the boys down there.
Luka and the boys. The NBA released the in-season schedule or the in-season tournament. We'll chime into that a little bit more, I think, once it starts, because I kind of didn't really look into it or know how it's working.
That's fair. I know that I saw the first game was in Denver against the Nuggets or something like that. I think we're in like
we got
Group
at
B.
Denver. So here you got the schedule for us. So it's going to be all November. It looks like it's going to be every week. Well, we miss a week in there or whatever. So Mavericks will play at Denver the first game. We'll play the Clippers at home. We'll play at New Orleans. And then we play the Rockets at home as well. So I say we lose to Denver. from the get-go. Denver probably go 2-2 if I'm being honest. I'd be surprised if we go 3-1 unless we add some more people to the team.
I think we can beat I think that's prime. The November, that's prime, like early season injury for Kawhi or Paul George or somebody. So like, I think we have a shot at home.
And usually Luka starts off really hot. So this might be his tournament.
This might be it. And then let's see the Pelicans. I mean, maybe Zion's hurt. He's got like drama still going on. Like,
is, bro.
Yeah, you know, like
with some porn stars or something.
Come on now, got something going on. You know, Houston's kind of still like Houston's kind of still a dumpster fire anyway. They're still rebuilding. So.
Yeah, I mean, once they have a new team, you have Van Vliet.
Yeah, so I mean,
and Dylan Brooks too. I think is on the Rockets.
Yeah, Dylan Brooks is trash.
Yeah, overpaid like a bitch.
I can see them going 3-1. I also see where there's a way that they go 1-3. I mean,
oh god,
I think that.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just kind of like you don't really know what you're going to get from the Mavericks yet, and I think we got to get a little bit into the season and see, like, you know, obviously I think you and I are both pretty optimistic with like last year was bad. I think it's pretty obvious that Luka doesn't want something like last season to happen again.
Oh no, bro, it's disappointing. Yeah, we'll get to that more when the season starts getting closer and stuff, where they're a little bit more relevant. But home opener supposedly, I don't know if it's official yet, but leaked to I think it was by Shams. So we'll play Wemby, his very first NBA game. So that's gonna be massive.
Did it say it was at home, or are we gonna be in San Antonio?
I want to say it's at San Antonio. I'm not too positive, but I think it makes sense, right? Because it's his debut, so I think it's at home. And then another key game is the Christmas game. We'll play at Phoenix, but Luka owns it, so I think he'll figure it out. He's at home, basically.
Yeah. And I guarantee that's a primetime game that evening. Like,
it has to be. All the Christmas games are massive.
Like,
last year we played the Lakers for Christmas.
Yeah, and it's so funny. Like, I remember like sitting in my dorm room in college, like watching the one like ESPN game of the Mavs, and it was like the Mavs and the Suns, and it was like pre-Luka, like super young Devin Booker, and they were just like it was god awful basketball. And then now to see like this is a prime time game on Christmas. You're assuming it's a prime time game on Christmas with like Kevin Durant's playing in it, Kyrie, Luka, Devin Booker now is a star. Like,
yeah,
it's crazy to see. Like, it's super awesome to see like stuff like that, and you know how fast fortunes can turn. I don't want to say it's fast because it's probably 5 years ago at this point, but like still, like, you know, I remember the dog days where pre-Luka and then like kind of towards the twilight years of Dirk, it was rough sledding down, man.
Yeah, it was. But hey, look at us now, man. So, wait, we're still kind of shit.
Look at us now. Hey, come on now.
I don't know how much farther we advanced. Missing playoffs with Luka. I didn't think that would happen again, bro. That's insane to me.
Yeah, you and me both. But anyway, well, that's kind of all we had. You got any final thoughts or anything like that?
I think that's it, man. Go Rangers, bro. They're getting high. I love it.
Yeah.
Hopefully they keep it going.
You know, I would like to wrap this episode up with an inspirational quote from James Harden. Daryl Morey is a liar. Let me say that again. Daryl Morey is a liar. So yes, thank you guys so much for listening. You know, it's been another week. We're kind of said it again last week, but tell your friends. We're kind of starting to get in the swing of things, and I think we're kind of figuring out, you know, the episodes and kind of how we want the stuff to be broken down. So please like follow us on social media. I know Oliver's making TikToks and, you know, trying to get that going.
We're trying.
And, you know,
we got a little cover art if you guys are listening.
Yeah,
cover art.
So
hopefully it's cool.
We're trying to boost that up. So if you guys have any suggestions, anything you guys want to hear, anything you guys want us to talk about, let us know. You can kind of find us all over the place. I think my social medias are pretty much at ATXNav, NAV. What are yours?
Twitter is OPA_official. I don't have a check mark. I'm just official.
Yeah.
Instagram is just Oli Placencia. Probably easier for you guys.
Yeah. So, yeah, man, hit us up if you guys have anything that you guys want to hear about. Anything you guys want us to talk about. Any suggestions that you have for us to get better at this? I know we're still pretty new at this, and we're, you know, it's kind of something we want to consistently do and get better at and kind of grow. So, that's it for this episode of Austin and Oli. Thank you guys so much for listening. Be a friend, tell a friend, support, spread the word, give us a subscribe. Check us out on YouTube too. We have that. TikTok, we're working on it too. So, and with that, thank you guys so much for listening. We'll see you guys.